What's going on, everyone? So, the Golden State Warriors, now being without Jimmy Butler for the remainder of the season, have to do something, right? Steph isn't getting any younger. You were a team that was really starting to feel like they were gaining some momentum. If I'm not mistaken, I think they have the second best record behind the Clippers in the last 15 games. They are a team that, again, you can never really count the Warriors out. Warriors every year, they're one of those teams they just want to get to the playoffs, and you got a shot, right? Trust Steph, you trust, Kerr and this team and stuff. And yes, there's a lot of noise, feels like a lot of just chaos going on with the Warriors this year, particularly centered around Jonathan Kuminga. But again, we have seen, like in 2022, no one thought, Warriors fans didn't even think they were going to win, right? Like if you hooked them up to a lie detector test, in hindsight, they'll be like, yeah, I always knew. Like, no, you didn't. The Warriors didn't even know. Draymond even was like, dude, we thought we were lucky to make it out of the first round, right? But they can't pack it in. They got to do something. And I just think Michael Porter Jr. is that something, right? They've been linked to Michael Porter Jr. for some time. Problem is the Brooklyn Nets don't want to give up Jonathan Kuminga, or don't want to take on Jonathan Kuminga. It's where my Lakers could come in. Jonathan Kuminga, apparently Rob Pelinka's interested in him, and you might be able to get some type of three-team trade, some type of three-team deal there, where the Lakers could provide the expiring contracts to the Brooklyn Nets. If you're the Warriors, you don't care where Jonathan Kuminga goes, right? That's the Nets' business at that point. You're just trying to get in Michael Porter Jr. to now put yourself in a position to, replace Jimmy Butler for this season. And then it's a guy that regardless, right? It's not like Michael Porter Jr. It's like, man, well, when we get him, now what do we do? Right? You were looking to acquire him with Jimmy Butler, right? So if it made sense with Jimmy Butler, it makes even more sense now without, especially the way Michael Porter Jr. is playing this year. And speaking on 2022, we saw Andrew Wiggins play to the level in the playoffs where him and Steph were, they were able to go and win an NBA championship together. I mean, Andrew Wiggins, to be fair, was so good that playoff run that, there was a genuine argument for him to win Finals MVP. If Steph wasn't Steph, he probably would have won Finals MVP. So, it's one of those things where it's like, if you're the Warriors, if there was even a slight thought of, let's say it was 30% that the Warriors were going to go trade for Michael Porter Jr. Now, I think it's probably 70 or 80%. Because who else are you going to get? It's not like there's a bunch of these premier guys. Maybe you go throw some money at or not money, but assets and stuff like that to go land a Herb Jones, or, do you go and try to get a Trey Murphy or something like that? But I think Michael Porter Jr. might end up being cheaper than that. I think Michael Porter Jr. might be more realistic of a get than that. But again, if you're the Nets, you have no obligation to help the Warriors, right? Look, it's business. It sucks, but it's not like the Nets are now going to go, oh man, dude, you know what? We're really sorry about that. Tell you what, right? You don't even have to give us picks. You don't have to give it. We're just going to do you solid, right? Just give you Michael Porter Jr. Here you go. Hey, don't even worry about it. Catch me on the next time. No, unfortunately, it doesn't work that way, right? If anything, the Brooklyn Nets are going to want more now. They demand more now. Luckily, if you're the Warriors, right, this happened before the deadline, right? Because if this happens after the deadline, season's probably over. You had realistically, you didn't have a great chance of winning with Jimmy Butler. I don't think never say never, obviously, but I think your chances are very near zero without him, right? Because he was that other guy that you could just rely on a nightly basis, especially come playoff time, playoff Jimmy, all of that, right? And take the pressure off of Steph and all that other stuff. Where now you don't have that player. You don't have that guy. And Michael Porter Jr. is probably the best option for that. Michael Porter Jr. is probably the most realistic option right now for that. And the way he's playing might be enough again, we've seen with a guy like that in Jimmy Butler, or a guy like that in Steph Curry, to where you can maybe get yourself over the top. And then also on top of that, it's not like, oh, now, yeah, but when Jimmy comes back, we're going to have to, either trade Jimmy or trade Michael Porter. No, like literally you use both of them. Right? It's a match made in heaven. Right? Michael Porter Jr., Jimmy Butler. And the beauty of Jimmy is he doesn't care. Right? Like, you want me to go get 20, I'll get 20. You want me to just average 15? Right? Like, third option Jimmy Butler might be exactly what this team needs. Right, to really put them over the top. Because, again, he's one of those guys that doesn't care. He doesn't care about his stats. He doesn't care about anything. He just wants to win. That's it. And on any given night, he can pick it up. On any given night, he can go and elevate and raise his ceiling. On any given night, he can put himself in a position to where, hey, I can go be that guy for you tonight. Right? So going and landing a Michael Porter Jr., I think makes sense regardless. Again, and it's somebody that the Warriors were linked to already. There's already tons of reports from all different sides, neutral sites and Warriors sites and net sites that were all just like, hey, Nets, keep an eye on Nets and the Warriors, doing a Michael Porter Jr. trade. Michael Porter Jr. might be going to the Warriors. And you're telling me what, now they're not going to do it? Like, if you were ever going to do it, now's the time to do it. Right? Like I said, I think the likelihood of it happening just skyrocketed. And also, Michael Porter Jr. is still young enough to where, like, it's still a piece very likely after, this current Steph Jimmy Butler era. Right? Because Michael Porter Jr. is only 27 years old. So, let's say another 2-3 years of this, right? With Steph and Jimmy, right? Well, Michael Porter Jr. will be 30 at worst, right? He'll be 28 in June. So he'll be 30, 31, let's say somewhere in that range, depending on how many years. I mean, you look at this season, he's averaging 26 points, 8 rebounds, or 7.5 rebounds. But yeah, 26 points, 7.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists on just under 49% from the floor. Like that, the Warriors could desperately use that. I think that's probably what's going to happen. I would be a little surprised at this point if they don't go make the trade for Michael Porter Jr. But as always, this is a discussion. I pass the question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. If you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.